The Patriots, after one season, moved on from head coach Jerod Mayo.
Yeah.
That, again, we said earlier, the vibe in the building was something's coming, and I think it really fell apart in the last month. That they wanted to try to make it work. They wanted to keep him, but it just kind of fell apart. And the availability of Mike Vrabel and kind of the feeding frenzy for Mike Vrabel, the Jets interviewing Mike Vrabel, I think one of the reasons the Patriots move quickly is to go get Vrabel, because you don't need to move quickly when you can't interview anyone in person until January 20th. Anyone who's currently working for another team, you could interview Vrabel today if you wanted to. And he's a member of the team's Hall of Fame. It just makes too much sense for him not to be the Patriots coach. I remember last year when Belichick got fired, it's like, why would it not be Vrabel? Well, because they already had a contract in the drawer that we didn't know about that promised the job to Jerod Mayo.
I mean, I wasn't sure what was going to happen with Jerod Mayo. I heard all the same things you heard. It did seem like in the last 5 to 6 weeks that things had kind of gone downwards there. It's a shame. I mean, I guess what I always look at is the Kraft family has been telling everybody that they had their guy for the replacement for Bill Belichick for 3 years in Jerod Mayo. And then after 1 year, we're just going to give up on it. I think that's where I just have a little bit of a soft spot for Jerod Mayo, a guy that I played against in the NFL. Plus, arguably one of the worst rosters in football, too, on top of that. So it's like, I don't know what the results were expected, but situational football, the way he handles some press conferences and things he said that way, seemed to kind of leave a sour taste in the fans' mouth and people in the organization.
There are certain key aspects of the job unrelated to X's and O's that you have to get buttoned up if you're going to be a successful head coach. And you can't repeatedly say things in press conferences that come back to haunt you. You can't create a vibe that you're trying to talk your way out of a job. Whether it's how you conduct yourself on the sideline. Like, there have been coaches where, their headsets all over the place. I'm thinking more college, headsets all over the place. They don't know how to get to the pack. And it's like, come on, man, you got to look the part. You got to act the part, and you got to speak the part. And Jerod Mayo, too many times, said things that created problems. And I think the Krafts just decided, especially with Vrabel out there, this is the guy we need. And if they can get Vrabel, and I can imagine anybody that's got a vacancy would want him.
I would think
He's
so.
in a great position. But I think he's going to feel a magnetic draw to Foxborough because he's got that red jacket that signifies being in the franchise's Hall of Fame.
I get that. He's the closest thing to Belichick and Bill Parcells that there is out there in the coaching world. So I get that. It's going to be a style in which they're very comfortable with there. But I think, to your point, and that is the point, is like, do we roll the dice and hope that Jerod Mayo and everything gets better next year? Or do we go with a guy like Mike Vrabel where we know it will? Or do we go with a guy like Ben Johnson and we know how awesome of a play caller, offensive game plan designer he is? I think he's the best guy to come out as far as that aspect since Shanahan and McVay back in 2017. Ben Johnson is as impressive as I've seen. So it'll be interesting to see. Joe Brady with the Buffalo Bills, I think he's going to be a hot name with all this as well. And it feels like they were a little like, let's not gamble on the hopefully Jerod Mayo works next year. We saw enough to go. We're not totally sold on it. And there's other guys out here that I think they fancy a little bit.
Flores would be a very viable candidate if he's available quickly.
Right.
If the Vikings would lose on Monday night and he's available to be hired, I think he would be a viable candidate.
When you went to Jacksonville, right? You caught me off guard a little bit.
That's
just
okay.
First off,
I'm sorry. I'm trying to even the playing field since I'm the one that's all messed up today.
Well, the thing I do look at it, I did think of Flores with Jacksonville. You need a strong personality to kind of get everybody going in the right way. He might be a little bit tough, and he's not going to always be warm and cozy with everybody. But we saw how he turned around Miami. We see how he's turned around the Minnesota Vikings defense. It's that type of guy that I think about, that these situations like Jacksonville where it's been a little dysfunctional all over the place for a few years, you get a guy like that who's been around successful organizations and he's had success himself. Those are the guys I trust. Him, Vrabel, Flores, those are the kind of guys.
And it's not a young quarterback that needs to be developed. And the other thing, too, teams tend to go for the exact opposite of the personality type of the guy they just had.
Right.
And Peterson's kind of more laid back, not a fiery guy, so Flores would fit. And they ping-pong back and forth around these different types of guys out there. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.